Deconstruction Junction, a podcast where we deconstruct our thoughts and what's going on in the world coming out of the current news. I'm Dr. Flo, not telling you what I heard, what I know. What I know is that you're loved and lovable. You've always been loved and lovable, and you're always going to be loved and lovable. And every day online and in real life, I help bold dreamers follow their bliss by using their growing talent, time, and treasure to make good trouble on the planet. And if you need someone to help you realize your dream and encourage you through accountability programs and training to actualize your dreams, I might be your guy. And while our wonderful co-host Tara Paolo Studio informs you of who she is, I'm going to go and find my actual good light for this video podcast. Thanks, everybody.
LOL. Hello, y'all. I am Tara Paolo. I am your resident Black biracial multi-passionate musician. I talk about the itch that nobody wants to talk about and push you to do the same. And I'm happy to be the COP, the cop of Love and Action Network, and pardon my child moving my camera down, y'all. Piper is literally like right here. Oh, hey. And also, Love and Action Network is an incubator. It is a network. It is a community. It is all these things. We would love if you are in a stage of your life where you're deconstructing something, or you just want to like come share your story with us, whatever that looks like. We would love to have some guest hosts for Deconstruction Junction, as well as the podcast that happens on our Substack and anywhere that you get your podcasts. And you can apply for that at lovedandlovable.bio.link. And now we do have good light.
Listen, the Paolo Foundation was good to me, and I am good to the Paolo Foundation. If you'd like to help Tara support Black artists and artists of all backgrounds realize their dream in the way that she's helped our network, just go to her website and drop her a link and let her know how you'd like to help her encourage, equip, and empower people. And if you're out there watching today and you want to lend your voice to what we're doing and you have something powerful to say to help us deconstruct and to come into harmony with our thoughts, feelings, and emotions, which is what we're going to do today about breaking news and topics that are going on, then go to our website, lovedandlovable.bio.link, 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 and connect with us. We'd love to have you where it says your name here. And we like all kinds of perspectives and viewpoints, so there's nothing off limits. You'll see me talk about everything in public because we're not scared of talking about politics. We're not scared of talking about religion. I was in a clubhouse room the other day where someone it was a room where everyone was supposed to be able to express their feelings. And someone started bringing up their feelings of wrath and rage against our current so-called commander-in-chief. And the woman who's a therapist stopped her and said, we don't do politics here. They do a lot of religion in that space, but they don't do politics. I'm like, how are you going to heal the politics in this country? How are you going to heal the world if you're not going to talk about it? There's too many silent people. And of course, we've been teaching this week in our network that silence is another form of self-sabotage. Tara's got the first link. The rent is too damn high.
The rent is too damn high, child. Check next slide. Next slide. Y'all know where I'm going. Can you make this big for me, please? The average rent. I'm gonna read it one more time. The average rent is $2,000 in America, and we're supposed to make 3 times the rent, which is $6,000, which is $72,000 a year. The average salary in the U.S. is $51,000. The math ain't mathin'. The math ain't mathin'.
Could you read it one more time? Because this is real. This
one more time.
Please read it one more time because this is real.
This is real.
This is what everybody's going through. Nobody on Clubhouse is talking about it.
Nobody. The average rent is $2,000 in America. And we're supposed to make 3 times the rent, which is $6,000, which is $72,000 a year. I think that's what it's supposed to say. The average salary in the United States is $51,000. The math ain't mathin'. And the minimum wage ain't mathin' either, child. Robert Reich also did, who y'all may know. He's an old white dude that sits. Listen. He has a fantastic Substack. You can follow him on Facebook. You can follow him on Threads. You can follow him on YouTube. You can follow him anywhere. Robert Reich, Reich, and he made a video. It was like green screen video. Like he has a little chart in the background that shows how wages used to be connected with productivity, and they kept going up over the time until a certain period in the 1980s when they tanked out and it became minimum wage, and how minimum wage has not grown and has not been lifted since 2009. And you know, if you make $725 and you're working full time, you are below the poverty line, which doesn't make any sense. And this is late stage capitalism. And I was thinking when I read this, I was just talking in Clubhouse Room about, you know, I know I read a thread that said the math ain't mathin'. It was this one. But I personally, like in my life, even though I am around a lot of middle class people, I'm around a lot of people that are following their dreams, that have good corporate jobs, that are teachers, that are whatever. I know barely anyone that makes $6,000 a month on their own. Like, when is the last time you heard of a teacher salary being $72,000 a year? I'll wait. When was the last time you heard of a construction worker making $72,000 a year? When was the last time you heard of a car salesman getting paid $72,000 a year? When was the last time that you heard your garbage truck dude ski making $72,000 a year?
And this is why people get caught up with shady landlords and apartment complexes that charge them $75 or $99 per person on the application.
That part. So the rent is too damn high, the wages are too damn low, and capitalism sucks is really what I wanted to bring forward. That. Rolling on. Human first.
I think this is a slide from last week, so we'll just wrap it into your last slide. I mean, how do we care for people and give them food, clothing, and shelter if we don't go human first? How do we meet each other as equals on the planet if we don't go human first? How do we see each other beyond our labels and our identities and just meet people as they are? Now, I talk a lot of shit in my programs. A lot of shit. Because some people...
I said helpful shit, mostly.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's helpful to be honest, open, willing, and available. Some people really thrive on being around me too, you too, you're pretty, I'm pretty, you're pretty, I'm pretty. That's not my gift to give. If you meet people in your life that want to just tell you that you're great, because you are great, now what? You know, I'm great, wanting to make more money. I'm great, wanting to sing more songs. We know that the Buddha taught us that you are basically good. You know, I don't hang around with people that are not good people. So now that we've done, you know, those platitudes and niceties, are you ready to talk about the stuff that's actually going to increase your time and the usefulness of your time? It's going to increase your treasure, meaning that it's going to 10x your income and cause you to have a happy life where you can have the great sex, great food, and great adventures that you want. Universal shit I teach. And so I don't mince words about it anymore, trying to coddle the people, because the people who I was coddling in the past, like Tara said, they weren't making $6,000 a month. So why would I kiss your ass? And there's a way in which we can not kiss people's asses while also valuing their humanity. Could you riff a little bit about that? We have a short time today because we're packing life in. And yesterday, talk about human first, my lights got turned off while I was mid shit because my husband forgot to put me as a human first. And so we had plenty of time yesterday, but we don't today. And that's okay. We still love him. People make mistakes, and it's no big deal.
Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days. Um,
What is that from?
it's a song. It's a whole song by Hannah Montana, I think. Also known
Poppy
as
and
Miley
you,
Cyrus.
my husband and her bond over Hannah Montana. He would know exactly what you're talking
He
about.
would. He'd probably know it better than I would, child. Um, I just have that in my head. So human first. Here's the deal, y'all. I talked about this a few weeks ago, but I do feel like this, and Dr. Flo has talked about this before, like the class consciousness, I think a lot of people are coming to the knowledge and realizing that $72,000 is actually not that much money in late stage capitalism. I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, okay, if I get to $10,000 months, what am I making per year? 120,000. That feels like not a lot of money. That feels like not a lot of money in modern day society when we're spending 800, 900, $1,000 on groceries, $1,000 on student loans. Everybody's got credit
People are
card debt.
having to people are having to use pay it forward plans or pay me later plans for their
Right,
groceries for
right.
macaroni and cheese.
I think what you pointed to in your share is just that we're coming to this consciousness, and there's a lot of anger. There's a lot of anger about it, and I think that we should be angry. It is kind of bullshit that the rental companies think that they should dictate how much money you earn to live there. Living is a human right. Housing is a human right. Food is a human right. Let the aid into Gaza. Let the aid in. Food is a human right. Water is a human right. The air we breathe is a human right. But, and I think there's a lot of people rightfully angry about this who don't go the next step of, then how can I care for my neighbor? Right? Even yesterday, I posted a picture of my garden, and I said, when I posted in my stories, I said, I've made the decision that this is our community garden. Like, none of y'all are here, but this is our community garden. You send the good vibes, the plants grow. And if you were here, if you were closer, you could come get the yellow tomato that's almost there, right? That's almost ripe. And it's that kind of stuff. It's like we are very clearly not going to dismantle capitalism and white nationalism and racism and all of the isms. We're not going to dismantle those in our lifetimes. Anyone that is born now, it will be here. It will be here when Piper dies, right? Which will hopefully be 100 years in the future. We're not going to dismantle that. So the real question is not how can we revolutionize or reform capitalism to make it livable? It is how do I help the person next to me on a Clubhouse stage, in Threads, next door in real life, feeding the people at the church, with the community that is around you. How do you help the people in your life? That's it. How can you give $5? How can you pick up every time I order from Costco, which is a luxury because I am in my abundance? I text my girlfriend down the street and I say, "Yo, I'm ordering from Costco. You need anything?" Right? It's not changing all of the all of the cars over to electric. It's making a single trip to the grocery store by asking your neighbor what they need.
Yeah, it's caring for the electric neighbors. We all have electric pulses running through us. It's not electric cars, it's electric people.
Right. Exactly.
Get into it, folks. We're doing our part. We're also working on community building. And I'm going to make this large for you because
Yeah,
that's what
this
she
was,
said.
and y'all just heard you probably heard the firework. That is Grow Garden. And my child might start screaming because I think they just got themselves stuck in a chair. But anyway, so this is a reminder, and we talked about this a few weeks ago. I think it was Ismatu. It might have been the Reclaimed. It doesn't matter. Anyway, it says reminder: you do not have to be besties to build community. You don't even have to like them. Just respect each other's humanity and care for each other's safety and make sure that everyone has their basic needs met. The antithesis of late stage capitalism is community. I'm going to read that one more time. Reminder: you do not have to be besties to build community. You don't even have to like them. Just respect each other's humanity and care for each other's safety and make sure that everyone has their basic needs met. Are you okay? We're good. The antithesis of late stage capitalism is community. Okay, we're going to go to the kitchen. We like I said, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. We talk about community building often. Someone reminded me the other day, one of my coaches, not Dr. Flo, that I actually build community without trying, literally everywhere I go, which is true. That's a true thing about me. But Dr. Flo, obviously, part of Love and Action Network and part of his business and part of reaching the 800,000 is building community. Dr. Flo is an excellent online and IRL community builder. And so I think it's important that we continue to talk about what it does look like when we're building community together in tandem and separately IRL, in person. I think community building is really important. We talked about friends versus community. And I really think it's important that we go back to that quote that kind of started Deconstruction Junction a little bit, which is that a movement, right, is people moving in the same direction, thinking different things. And a cult is people moving in the same direction and thinking the same thing. And we need a whole lot more communities that aren't trying to bestie each other, that aren't doing the you're pretty, I'm pretty thing, that aren't circle jerking, right? We need more community than we do cult behavior.
And we see many cults, including MAGA and Blue MAGA and all kinds of people. The thing about a cult is that it wants to enforce its ideas upon its people. You're in if you do as we say, which is control. If you do as we say and we can control you, that's a cult. And I don't like that. I think that community building is going to be so important because the thing that we also don't talk about in society is the loneliness epidemic. We were having this issue before the pandemic or plandemic. I can't even talk about it fully over because people are watching me over on the good old Tickety Talk. And the room is bugged wherever I go for freedom. But I will say, no matter how you feel about these epidemics and plandemics and pandemics, the thing that existed for many decades before these things were the loneliness and the feelings of loneliness that people have. A lot of people don't have real friends. Zuckerberg taught us months ago, the head of Facebook, that most people want 15 people supporting them in that tribal feeling that we had back in the day. Tara thinks that's overwhelming. I do have 15 people that support me every day. But while people want 15 people to support them, most people only have 3, and a lot of people have none. And that feeling of loneliness drives people into all kinds of destructive behaviors when community is the answer. And for a lot of people, community is a 4-letter word. And that's they come into Love and Action Network. We're a community that wants to encourage, equip, and empower you. They go, community, I've been burned by community before. My family was a community and they don't care about me or my dreams. Or I had a friend who did me dirty. So, fuck community. But community, no matter how, like, the numbers are clear. You all act like lonely people. Y'all get mad at me that I don't act like a lonely person. There are lonely people all over TikTok looking for their next best friend on TikTok Shop, to sell something to them, or people befriending people in AI. People would rather be friends with the monkey in their phone than talk to their neighbors and their friends and their relatives. So we got an issue. We're going to heal it. But Tara and I don't have a lot of time today, so we got to move forward. And this is going to be a bit of a longer share, but I'm going to try to fast forward through it. I want to talk today about CCM music, contemporary Christian music. I did not even know, talking about cults, I did not even know that this Cult of Christ famous singer, I was watching a Prime series about the Duggars. Remember the Duggars? That 19-kid family and the older son was touching
Josh.
all of the girl kids.
And she stayed married to him, child. He's in the whole jail, and she's married to him, and they got kids.
Under his eye, may the Lord open, blessed be the fruit.
Blessed be the fruit. My God.
So I'm watching that documentary that has been a scorn to all of the evangelical community over on Amazon Prime, and I'll try to get the name while this is playing a bit. But I did not know that Ray Baltz, who is a famous Christian singer of my childhood when I was a member of the Cult of Christ, I didn't know that he was now gay and married to his talent manager. I'm going to play a little bit of this famous clip and try not to get taken down off of YouTube for playing a YouTube within a YouTube. But let me show y'all something real quick. Now, this is Ray Baltz, who was then married, and his kids are on the documentary. He is and was a homosexual the whole time. And there's a song called I Pledge Allegiance to the Lamb. And I just want y'all to see a few pieces of this because the imagery is crazy. And if I can get it queued up the right way, it actually ends with this man teaching his kid the Bible in a bunker. Because, you know, Christians are so persecuted. They are the most put upon, pushy people on earth. What you got to say about it?
Okay, so do you remember back in the day, this was literally like shortly after October 7th, I shared the video of the Jewish non-binary person that was like talking about whiteness and Judaism and like how many Jews are white in today's society. And people got big mad at me. People got big mad at me for sharing that video. Big mad. Anyway, I shared that person in my stories again. I think their name is Sim, S-I-M. I shared that person in my stories again yesterday, and they were talking about blood libel and how the Christian belief that the Jewish people were taking their babies and bleeding them, essentially, and like making up persecutions that were not happening, at least on the mass scale that was claimed. So,
in all fairness, because it's delusion, there are Christians being killed for being Christians all around the world,
including the Palestinians.
I was just about to say, including the 2 million starving people in Gaza, right? So the idea that American evangelicals and Christians think that their persecution is somehow better than or more righteous than the Gazan people is some bullshit. But you would have to have been in the cult as deep as I was, 20 some years in the cult of Christ. You would have to be in it for that long in order to understand how ridiculous it truly is and how they are trying to turn us into a theocracy as we speak. Project Esther is worse than Project 2025, folks. They are currently working to make us a Christian nation, a Christian evangelical nation. And it's crazy. It's crazy. So here we go. Let me see if I can get a little bit of this going.
I Pledge Allegiance to the Lamb is a song that talks about being sold out to Christ, what it means, and it looks back at the time when Christians were persecuted, when they were martyred for their faith. The place that we're standing in right at this moment is the Colosseum in Rome, Italy. One emperor said that he had to give the people bread and he had to give the people spectacles, and that would keep them happy. And of course, at that time, it was a criminal offense to be a Christian. It was against the law to be a Christian. And history teaches us, or at least tradition teaches us, that in this place Christians were actually thrown to the lions. There were many people that were martyred for their faith, and in that our cultures are the same, are similar, that we both cultures want spectacular things to happen. It makes me stop and think, what would happen in our culture if suddenly Christianity was outlawed? Could it happen again? Could in America Christians be martyred? I don't know the answer to that question. It does happen around the world, and we all need to look inside of our hearts and ask ourselves, what would happen if Christianity was outlawed? What would happen if we had to make the decision? And when I wrote the song, that's the question I asked myself, Ray, what would happen if if you had to make that decision today. And I hope by the grace of God my answer would be, I pledge allegiance to the Lamb with all my strength, with all I am. And I will seek to honor His commands. I pledge allegiance to the Lamb.
Dad, has it always been this way?
Hell, even from the beginning, men hated Jesus. Even though He did nothing but love them and teach them and heal them, they nailed Him to a cross. They thought they had killed Him, but they only set Him free to live in the hearts of people like you and me who believe in Him. Then came the apostles, and most of them were killed for telling other people about Jesus. But by that time it was too late. There were hundreds of people who believed in Jesus. So they tortured them and killed them, and they even left their bodies to rot as an example to other people. But the church
Child, there's so many levels to this. Number one, that's a man who later came out and said he was a homosexual the whole time. So he was standing in Rome, pledging allegiance to the Lamb, talking about the fear of Christian persecution, and he was a homosexual the whole time. Number one. If you go under the comments on this post, there are people to this day, this is like a 20-year-old song. There are people to this day still saying, I pray that Ray comes back to the Lord. It's a shame that he's living in sin still. This song makes me cry. I hope that he comes back to Jesus. To this day, like 3 weeks ago, 2 days ago, people are under there praying for his soul. You don't see the connection between this guy getting snatched out of his jail cell for pledging allegiance to the Lamb while his kid is screaming, just like ICE today. They create the bullshit that they want to save people from. That's what I brought today. Let's talk about Serena. We have literally 15 minutes. Say what you want to say.
That's it. My giggles are it, because what is wrong with people? Are you okay? I hope you become okay. I hope
back for the insurance because they informed me earlier this year I'm on Cobra.
Venus.
Oh.
So I was like, I got to get my benefits on. Started training.
She's actually not lying about that, because we talked about that about 6 years ago. So you're actually telling the truth. You know, insurance is hard.
Insurance, you guys know what it's like. And let me tell you, I'm always at the doctor. So I need this insurance. I had to come back for the insurance because they informed me earlier this year I'm on Cobra. So I was like, I got to get my benefits on. Started training.
She's actually not lying about that, because we talked about that about 6 years ago. So you're actually telling the truth. You know, insurance is hard.
Insurance, you guys know what it's like. And let me tell you, I'm always at the doctor. So I need this insurance.
Sorry, folks. Don't send me your hate mail from the NAACP. All black people don't look the same, and all so-called black people don't look the same, and all so-called white people don't look the same. I threw this in there. That's not Serena. That's actually Venus.
They are sisters, though.
I
So
was
at
in the
least
family. I was in the
they
family.
look similar.
That's Venus Williams, who has made millions, but potentially being a tennis star, and she's still on Cobra, having to figure out how to keep her health insurance active, which shows me, as a middle management earner here in the country, not quite poor, not quite rich, that you really have to go high up in your earnings, Tara, in order to be okay here.
Why do you think? Well, the price of entrance to the Olympics. We learned about that last year with Flava Flav paying for the rugby team, right? But also, we talked about this a couple weeks ago in one of the rooms. I said, I was watching tennis this morning, and they were talking about how these people are independent contractors. And I don't know why that took me aback, and I should have thought about it, but it was, this is real. Cobra is expensive. Both of my my in-laws and my mom, my dad's been retired for a lot of years, but that was something that they had to heavily consider before retiring early, that their insurance was going to be up their butts and around the corner expensive. And that's the reality. And then it doesn't cover anything. I mean, my insurance premium for my family is $475 a month, and it doesn't cover IVF.
That's a nope.
She's making it lighthearted. This is such an interesting thing because it's like a white woman that probably makes millions.
Asking her, and that's actually true. That's actually true, validating her as if she would be sitting on national television, not saying what her life story is. We know that Venus Williams has an illness that she needs consistent treatment for, right. And she couldn't sit her black ass down. She had her so-called black ass. She couldn't sit down. She had to actually go out and work. Right. Very weird dynamics in that
weird
clip. Dynamics in all the professional and then sports. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's weird clip. But yes, it probably is true that she came back for the insurance. She might have been bored, y'all. Athletes and musicians, artists, what do we do once we're out to pasture?
What you gonna do? Eat me?
Eat me? Okay, Panic Paradox follow-up. This is also a little bit longer, but really we kind of just need the first half of the video. I'll holler when to stop.
After me, effective systems require effective risk. Effective systems require effective risk. Great. So when I made this cute little spiral graph about how the systems that we have keep breaking, but we keep running back to the systems, creating this parallel feedback loop, and the only way to really deviate is radical action, which just means to depart from systems that we have in place. Did you all think that would be without risk? You all want the revolutionary systems, but you also don't want any sort of risk. Effective systems require effective risk. The more effective the system, the higher the risk to your personal livelihood and to the system in place. When you create systems that are good enough to rival the state, guess who you'll make an enemy of? I just want us to be prepared. How does this apply to me personally? Hi, my name is Lisa. It's nice to meet you. You look lovely today. There are a lot of systems I'm building right now, not all of which I talk about on the internet, but one that I frequently do is rice farming in Sierra Leone. Why do I like the system so much? Because it's a business. I have done us a disservice by calling your support donations. That's not true. These are investments. This is a business. It's a business that is designed to support itself and to expand different kinds of infrastructure. You smell to Gwendolyn. Business person. The media that I make online is a business. It is registered as a business. And while I make sure not to paywall any sort of political education, the Patreon free, Threadings free, okay, you can have it for free. The only accessible way to do any sort of education is to make it free. The right wing knows that. For some reason, the leftists haven't figured it out. I utilize the paid members of constituency to test out systems that are replicable and expansive for wherever you are watching. 50% of people looking at me right now are even in the United States. We love that. I know I remind me imagine pitchforks and torches and whatnot, but you should be imagining hospitals, food distribution systems, schools, libraries, of which I'm working on, by the way. Total Victory is political, cultural, economic, and militaristic. You need all four. There's no way you get control of of these four elements of society with no risk. Effective systems require effective risk. Now, whenever I talk about my life and the projects that I work on online, there's a lot of people that say things like, that's idealistic, it's unrealistic. I don't actually need to make educational materials scarce to be able to get these projects done. And I know that I don't need to because I've been doing this for 3 years. I want you to participate actively. You can do so with your finances. You can do so with your time and attention. You can do so with engaging in the reading material. All of those are deeply important sites and tools of expansion. Your mind and the tokens of power that we call money, concentrated on a particular topic or on a particular cause, allow for expansion. That is the participation I am asking you for. I just want you all to know that I have high expectations of you people, okay? Every time you all choose to settle for my individual safety over what we can accomplish collectively, I cry. Don't make me cry like that again. Have a good day. Live studio audience, repeat after me. Effective systems require effective risk.
We did watch the whole thing.
She's fire. She's fire.
But
You can keep talking.
Effective systems require effective risk. Effective systems require effective risk. I love the way that I love the way that they talk about capitalism, the risk that we have to take, it's interesting because there's a juxtaposition for me in this video of like the way like all of their stuff is free, like they say, but also like they reinforce they're also a business, and so they're also reinforcing capitalism in a way, and that's always kind of a really interesting thing. But like listening to them talk about it it's interesting. And so I wanted to bring this because we did talk about the panic paradox. We watched their video on the panic paradox, and this was the follow-up of making a business that is expansive and benefits multiple other sources. And it brought up the four things that are needed to tackle the systems that exist, and also like what we could benefit with our individual businesses, right? Like building libraries, building hospitals, building food production, building these types of places. Like it's possible.
Yes. And possible. If you don't like the word business because you feel like the word business is concretizing capitalism, how would you want them to frame that in a way that the public would want them to that the public would understand?
I don't know. The whole thing is they're an anti-capitalist living in a capitalist world. They have compromised like their livelihood. They do not care. They do not care if they make enough money to live. And in fact, they're giving away, I think they said that in another video, they said that they make like $11,000 a month, but they give most of it away.
They make $11,000 a month, and donation based. Sign me up. Sign me up.
And so like, but then talking about a business, and this is where, I'm not criticizing Ismatu here, but a lot of people that come out and say they're anti-capitalist then will charge for their services or create a business that acts within capitalism in the exact same way that they say they're trying to escape. And so like, I understand why they are using the term business person, but I think for those of us that are deconstructed enough to like understand that like it's not actually business.
It's definitely not business like, as usual.
Right. It's not business in the late stage capitalistic sense. But yeah, every system requires
it's an operation,
risk, right?
If you will.
Like it's an operation.
Yeah. Okay, here you go. On you.
Okay, this is inspo. This is easy. This was just a happy-go-lucky, like, hey, I wanted to give you something happy to think on. But also before I read this, leave trans people alone. Leave Black people alone. Just leave people alone, man. Like
some of y'all were raised by bullies, and it shows.
It shows heavily. Y'all hate yourselves, and I'm so sorry. I hope you heal. So We the Urban, y'all know how I love We the Urban, and I haven't brought a We the Urban on anything lately. But it says every choice is a mirror. The boundaries you set, the love you accept, the things you no longer chase. It all speaks to how you see yourself, to how much you love yourself. One more time. Every choice is a mirror. The boundaries you set, the love you accept, the things you no longer chase. It all speaks to how you see yourself, to how much you love yourself.
I love that.
Love that.
I love that. Reminds me of when I was on Clubhouse and the guy was like, "You don't know me, Dr. Flo." Like, that's not how I feel. I'm like, I'm just a mirror. I'm just a mirror of what you're showing me. Ceasefire now. We call for it every day in our network. I bought something for us to look at. We're going to look at it very quickly before we get out of here.
Volviendo aquí en el baño, un beta en el chingo maricón. El sueño americano. Migración, 26 Federal Plaza. ¿Cómo nos tienen ver la situación como estamos nosotros, como perros acá? Para Ecuador.
These are other humans who love the way we do, who think the way we do, who have families the way we do, who have lovers the way we do, who we're holding como perra, like dogs, at 46 Federal Plaza in New York City and throughout the world. And the majority of y'all, no matter what you say, you think that's okay. And you're happy that it's not happening to you. And that is bullshit. That is complete and utter bullshit. That we can witness this. Tara and I get on this motherfucker every week and speak up about what we see. But a lot of our friends and the people that we're around are not saying shit about it. And this is somebody's son, somebody's nephew, somebody's father sleeping on aluminum foil and shitting in the same toilet that they have to drink water out of. And y'all don't give a fuck. So do not come in my face. This is why I don't have a lot of friends and people don't follow me on TikTok and they can't come off a like even if we are friends on the app. They can't find their thumbs to give a like. Keep your fucking likes and keep your fucking friendship. I don't need it because you bitches are fake in the first fucking place. If you're not willing to talk about the hardship that's happening to other humans. Don't come to my meetings. Don't try to impress me. Don't try to say nice things and all this bullshit. Because unless you want to talk about getting these humans out of cages on our soil and beyond, I ain't with it. And you know I'm not with it. So keep your fucking feelings and all that to yourself. This is ridiculous. It's ridiculous that humans are on the planet suffering for being human and y'all just duck and dive off of YouTube and TikTok and Facebook acting like we're friends. I'm a friend of humanity. What the fuck are you doing?
So this is a repeated, Israel is starving Gaza, Israel is starving Gaza, Israel is starving Gaza. And it continues on. The second one there, it says, don't stop talking about Congo. If you click on it, Dr. Flo, it should go to a link, which is another little short video. And for those of you, I'll read a little bit of it. Don't stop talking about Congo. Don't stop talking about Sudan. Don't stop talking about Tigray. I've seen a lot of discussion online lately about, where we should be talking about Gaza. We absolutely have to talk about Gaza. We have to talk about these detention centers. But when it comes to the countries that are in Africa, a lot of people get real tight-lipped about it. So if you're going to talk about it, talk about all of it. The next slide says dozens of Palestinians were killed across Gaza on Sunday. That's literally, 5 days ago, as they tried to get food aid, according to the local health authorities. One of the deadliest days in recent months for those seeking assistance. And then the headline, this is from NPR, y'all. This is not like some rando on the internet. This is NPR. Nearly 100 people. See how they say dozens? This is how news media is annoying. Nearly 100 people killed while seeking aid in Gaza on Sunday.
Meanwhile, at the opera, one of the singing actors revealed a Palestinian flag in the bows, and the artistic director of that company tried to take it from him while he was on stage, which shows me that the person who tried to rip the Palestinian flag away from him actually wants these people to starve. And the real question is, why does that culture lack empathy and want strangers to starve? Someone has to explain to me why y'all are so comfortable with people who have the same physiological processes like you, why you want them to starve. I'll wait. Our programs are on the website, y'all. lovedandlovable.bio.link, lovedandlovable.bio.link. You can learn more about Tara's programs, my programs, and our programs collectively.
And you can come to the 11 a.m. rooms daily. We talk about our seeds every single day. Adopt a Black Artist, we'll touch on really briefly. There are 100 of you that have commented underneath a post of Dr. Flo's on Threads. He's going to be getting back to you in the next few days to come in closer with us and to be a part of our community. And we will resume posting those people once we understand their needs and have gotten them into the directory. I think the other things in this deck are hiring for Dr. Flo and the Love Experience. We've got Blackening the Canon. That's a group chat. I've got Freedom Fridays. Today is Friday. Happy Friday. So I post some free things online, as well as I have 15-minute and 30-minute sessions that are completely free. If you are Black or LGBTQIA+, hit me up. I can get you in some other day of the week for free and donation base. It does not matter the day of the week. Just come and see me. If you think I can help you, I can.
Thanks for watching, everybody. On behalf of Dr. Flo, myself, Andre and the Flo, Tara Paraolo Studio, Poppy Water 33 that produces this show, and the weirdos claiming that they're trying to get justice for Charles McNair and get him out of jail, but they haven't been successful in the last 30 years. To those weirdos, we're still saying justice for Charles McNair. Everybody deserves their freedom. Thank you for watching. Thank you for holding space for joy. We got meetings, y'all. Stay in your power, stay in your joy, stay loved and lovable. And we'll see you very, very soon around our fabulous network. We love you. Peace.